I don't think anyone saw this coming. I mean, seriously. We are currently in the middle of the newest season of BFDI, that being the power of 2, and suddenly Jack and Jellyfy just releases the next episode of BFDIA? This is most certainly one of the most confusing decisions Jack and Jellyfy has ever made, but also I love it. So let's get into it. What do I think of the new episode of BFDIA? It's good. Picking up right where the last episode ended off, we get to see our favorite BFDI contestants in the old animation style. Pre-made assets, BFDI mouth and all. The animation is honestly a good enough reason to watch this episode. While not phenomenal like Love of the Sun or The Nightly Manor, it harkens back to the original BFDI style without being bland, because when done well, using the pre-made assets can look really good. Think 3EEE. Not phenomenal, just solid and nice to look at. As far as the episode itself, I just really enjoyed watching it, especially compared to the recent output of Inanimate Insanity, which is trying way too hard to be good, so much that it is bad. This is a breath of fresh air. It's as if they went back in time and stole the script they were going to originally use for this episode, which they might have actually done, I have no idea. The charm is just as potent as it was back in the day, because even when a joke does not land, it always feels earnest, not some stale basic humor you could see everywhere else. You know, like Burner. This time round, the challenge is seeing which team can get to sleep the fastest, which, I gotta be honest, is a great challenge idea. I think what sucks the most about lots of competition shows is the challenges that are just plain boring. They don't have some crazy X factor or interesting conflict. They just happen and no one cares. In Inanimate Insanity's most recent episode, the challenge was terrible. They tried to use it to artificially make character conflict, but it was just so boring to actually watch, with each team basically doing the same thing over and over again. With this challenge, each team goes through very diverse and weird obstacles to complete their goal. It's not a simple 3-part plan. I think the zany energy being exhibited here just works so well for the episode that I couldn't stop watching. Yoyo City is such a great location too. Lots of people wanted IDFB back, not just because it would be unique compared to Tpot, but we would get to see more of this huge, sprawling city. While I think that IDFB would have made more sense than BFDIA to bring back, they utilized the city very well here. Since each team has to explore for places to sleep, Team No Name goes to a hotel that is pretty obviously haunted by Evil Leafy. This leads to them continuously running from her by going into the different rooms of the hotel, with it all being very meta and repetitive. And listen, I don't say repetitive as a bad thing, it is just, in fact, repetitive, but still very funny. I think that the comedy style of old BFDI includes lots of explanation humor, or that's the best word I can think for it. The characters will almost narrate what's going on, pointing out the comedy and absurdity in certain situations. I mean, Golf Ball just insists on staring at the clearly evil mirror for no reason. Just like BFDI in general, there is not a lot of logic in Team No Name's segment, but I like it anyways. Also, what BFDI always seems to get right is bringing each team together. While Team No Name does not interact with the other teams directly, it is very well handled how Evil Leafy is drawn away from the team, and how the glued up boards get swept away, leading to their first place victory. Wobunch in comparison is much less directly insane. They opt to hide out in an aerospace factory, finding a bunch of spaceships and space sleeping materials. Unfortunately, a literal cloud forms inside the building they are sleeping in, and in classical comedy fashion, they don't just take the easy way out, but opt to combat the cloud directly. Just like most problems though, they immediately find a super simple solution and nothing bad ever happens again, as they set up a dehumidifier and get to sleep. FreeSmart begins their journey by stuffing Ice Cube in the back of their van and heading off to find the Yoyo City Pillow Emporium. Factory, I don't remember the name and do not care enough to check. This leads to a comedic montage of Pencil aimlessly driving the team around the city, climbing up buildings like it's nothing. I do not know if I like this. Lots of dialogue is fun, as well as the full attempt at jokes. I mean, Ruby goes to the yummy filtration plant plant. If you can even attempt to explain the complexity of that joke, I would love to hear it because it is incredible. Anyways, Free Smart eventually gets completely lost, finally realizing that the pillow area is in the Yoil Needy. You know, that big building like the one in Canada. So anyway, they hit the dehumidifier. I lied. This ends up with both teams on a bridge made from the dehumidifier, and they must fight. This once again makes me think of how interesting the challenge is, because Free Smart, after stealing their blankets and pillows, just tries to go to sleep. And I know that this is the objective, but bro, what do you think is going to happen? Wobunch tries to prevent them from sleeping by making them scared, which makes Needles say Evil Leafy over and over, making Free Smart scared. But I'm pretty sure you can guess what happens next. And then Ice Cube actually speaks new dialogue, yes! This episode is really confusing. I mean, really confusing. I don't know why this got made instead of IDFB. Maybe I could make a video on that, but I don't really care. The amount of time I waited as a kid for this episode to be released was so long, and it just never came. And now it's here. I almost feel like I enjoyed this more than the recent output of Teapot, though I have not watched episode 7 yet. I promise I will, okay? Overall, I just really liked this episode, and I am baffled by how good it came out. I hope they continue to make more and more along with Teapot, and then maybe finally continue IDFB? Please? I mean, they kinda set it up in-universe with the ending scene, but still. Well, that was me, Golden Archetype. And stay gold, everyone. Stay gold.